Hi, I'm Michelle from Michelle's Romantic Tangle, and in this video I'm going to show you how I used some Dollar Tree pencil cases to make this nail polish zipper bag. My favorite part of this project, aside from this glossy sparkly red vinyl, is that you can make a bag with a functioning zipper without ever sewing the zipper yourself. As soon as I saw these metallic red pencil cases at the Dollar Tree, I fell in love with the color and the texture and knew that I wanted to do something with one. My first thought was to use it for a project bag for my cross stitch, but it's not really a good size piece of material for that. Then it hit me that this is just the perfect sparkly red for a bottle of nail polish. So I went back to the Dollar Tree a few days later knowing that I needed something black for the lid, and in the same display they had sparkly black. I did wind up, as I worked to figure out the math of how I was going to make this work, picking up a second sparkly red. You'll need two colors, two matching bags for the polish, and one contrasting bag for the lid. To make our nail polish bottle look more realistic, I also wanted some clear vinyl for the airspace above the polish. You can skip this if you want to skip it or don't have clear vinyl. This bag is clear on one side but not the other, so I'm just going to use vinyl from this side for the project. You can also buy clear vinyl on the bolt at either Joann's or Michael's, or you can quite often find it in the packaging for bedding. It does want to be, you'll want it to be a heavy vinyl that will approximately match the weight of the pencil bags you're using for the body of the nail polish bottle. To keep this project as quick and easy as possible, we are going to use the existing zipper of the bag. So zip it to approximately the middle, and then with tape I'm going to wrap the tape around at either far end just to make sure that once I start cutting, the zipper doesn't run off of its track. For our first bag, we are going to cut off both ends. I would use craft scissors for this and not your good fabric scissors. So cut off both ends as close to the end as possible, and then cut up the center of the back of the bag. This is going to be the front of our nail polish bottle. For the back of our nail polish bottle, again, we are going to cut off both ends. And we are going to cut it just on either side of the zipper. So what we have now, I'm actually going to remove the tag here because that's just going to get in our way, is one smooth flat piece of the sparkly vinyl and one piece of sparkly vinyl with the zipper in it. I'm going to go ahead and zip the zipper up a little bit more for the moment. I'm going to square these up so that they are both the same size. And then we are going to need the vinyl piece for our headspace. So I'm going to just cut off the zipper. And then what I want to do is I want to make two pieces as equally sized as possible. If I had plain vinyl, I would make these a little bit wider, but I am working with what I have, and I was trying to make this project as much from Dollar Tree materials as possible. So I've taken a few minutes to square up my pieces. I have the front and back of my bottle, my clear-ish vinyl for the headspace, and two matching rectangles for the lid of the bottle. I went ahead and squared these up with my quilting ruler and rotary cutter. You can just use whatever method works best for you. And now we are going to move over to the sewing machine. A couple of tips for sewing with vinyl. You really don't want to be ripping stitches out of vinyl if you don't have to, so take your time and be careful. You cannot pin vinyl. I know a lot of the quilters who I know use clothespins or different kinds of clips. I'm using washi tape because I have it on hand and it's a quick and easy way to do this. For our first seam, we're going to take the clear vinyl and the vinyl for the body of the bottle. The zipper goes up and down. You want the clear vinyl facing it so it will be at the top of your bottle. So I have my vinyl lined up on the edges. I'm going to sew at the quarter inch mark. This is a quilting foot, so it has a little piece there, but your regular sewing machine, the quarter inch will be the edge of the foot. And there is my seam. Just a reminder, if you were working with fabric, you would press your seams. Vinyl and irons do not play nicely together, so we're just going to use our fingertips and kind of press that seam down the way that it should be. I'm going to grab my other piece of vinyl and the back of the bag. I'm going to line these up. I probably should use a couple pieces of tape to hold these in place, but the vinyl is sticky enough that it's holding itself together nicely, and honestly, I don't pin unless I have to. Now I have the front and back of my bag. So we're going to sew the lid of the bottle to the body of the bottle, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fold each of these pieces in half, and then I'm going to match up those fold lines and then fold it in half one more time to make sure everything looks good. And I'm just going to do a quarter inch seam to sew the lid to the body. And I'm going to do the same thing with this piece. Everything matched up. You probably should tape these in place while you're sewing. I probably should tape these in place while I'm sewing, So now we have the front and the back of our nail polish bottles. I'm going to finger press the seams so that this one goes down and this one goes up. I'm going to do that on both of them. And then I'm going to put them right sides together, make sure things still match up. When you are sewing a bag together, we are going to sew all the way around the outside edge. You absolutely have to make sure that the zipper is open. If the zipper is closed, you're going to have to pick out your stitches and sew it again. I speak from experience here, guys. You do not want to do this. So I'm going to line these up and head back over to the sewing machine. I'm going to do the bottom edge first, just because it'll make me feel better if I have all the live edges of the zipper. And I should have said this sooner. When you are sewing over zippers, depending on what the zipper is made of, your sewing machine may or may not want to sew over it. This is a plastic zipper, so I can just sew straight across it without hurting my needle. If it was a metal zipper, I would come right up to the edge and then turn the hand wheel of my machine to kind of walk my needle across, and if it did not want to go down, I'd raise the needle back up and shift the fabric until I got past the metal bit that the needle did not want to go through. But like I said, this zipper is thin plastic and it's no problem at all. When I get to within a 1/4 inch of the edge of the piece, I'm going to lower my needle. I'm going to raise my presser foot, turn the project, put the presser foot back down. I'm going to make sure that both of these seams are still facing in the direction I want them to be facing. This vinyl, because it has the, whatever this backing is, the sewing machine doesn't mind it at all. This vinyl is a little stickier and more finicky, so I have to be careful guiding it through the foot. There is a special Teflon sewing machine foot you can buy for sewing vinyl. I'm too cheap to buy a special foot to sew vinyl. I don't sew enough of it. So I just kind of wrestle it through the machine.
What went from?
Are you still recording?
Yeah.
So it looks like my vinyl is not quite lining up here at the top the way I would like it to. I'm coming to the edge of the smaller piece and adjusting on the fly, which this is how I do a lot of my sewing. Let's turn the corner for the lid of the bottle. To where I need to be, turn the corner again. This isn't quite like sewing on cotton, but if you're patient, it works. And now the vinyl here is wanting to stick on the machine bed, so I just need to lift it up a bit. The edge of the vinyl's wanting to hit the edge of the sewing machine foot, so again, just go slowly and manipulate it and get it to do what you need to do. And around this last corner, again, make sure that the seams are pointing, make sure the presser foot is down and that the seams are angled in the direction you want. Make sure that zipper's open so that you can turn the piece when you're finished. And down here around the end, so now I've done all of the edges of my bottle. And now we are going to use the opening from the zipper to turn this whole thing inside out. The other thing about vinyl is it is stiff. So this is gonna take some patience and some fiddling. I'll be honest, it took me more time to turn the bag right side out than it did to cut and sew the whole thing, and now that I'm done with it, I can think of some ways I could have made it better. But it was a cute and fun project, and I did get it looking almost exactly the way I had the project pictured in my head. Thanks very much for watching. If you decide to make a nail polish zipper bag of your own, please let me know in the comments. I'll be back soon with more Dollar Tree tutorials and floss tube videos. There's a new Dollar Tree opening in our small town, so I'm excited to see what they have.